That's enough for over the phone. See you there tomorrow. Frank was finishing his second donut when he spied Marchand approaching. He had the same authoritative, quick step as ever, but he looked a little stiff. And why not? It must be 23 years since they first met. Frank wondered whether he was secretly working for the CIA even then. His old boss spotted Frank and waved him outside. "Good to see you, George. Donut?" "No, thanks. You better go easy on those, too, if you want to keep that weight off." "Yeah, well, you picked the meeting place. What gives?" "Let's talk while we walk. We're going to a new facility we just opened up the street." "Here? Pretty high-priced real estate for a government agency." "No kidding. But data analysis is a hot skill now. We're competing with shops like Google that coddle the kids fresh out of school like they were royalty. You need to offer frills like food courts and massage chairs to get the top talent these days. And if you don't have a trendy location, forget it." "What kind of work is the agency doing there?" "This is our new big data center. Every type of information we gather from all over the world will funnel through here now, so we can organize and then analyze it for trends and emerging threats." "You mean you've got tens of thousands of servers in the middle of Washington?" "No. They're in a new data center outside the Beltway, but it's all managed from downtown. Here, clip this on your shirt pocket." Frank followed Marchand into the sumptuous travertine-walled lobby of a new office building. They fell in step with the other commuters streaming past the security guard and toward the elevators beyond. Marchand led Frank past them and around a corner, where they found one more elevator. Next to it was a small nameplate that read, "Cloud Data, Inc." He slid a card into a slot on the nameplate, and the door slid open. "Private elevator?" Frank asked Marchand. "Of course." To Frank's surprise, they stopped on the next floor. Decanted into a narrow, windowless room, he found himself facing a wooden-faced guard sitting behind what looked to Frank like bulletproof glass. Marchand sat down in the first of a row of shallow stalls equipped with computer screens and set his phone in front of him. When prompted by an instruction on the screen, he typed in a number from his phone. Another line of text appeared on the screen, and he typed in an answer. Marchand sat still for a bit longer, and then a card popped out of a slit below the screen, as if he had just paid for his stay at an automated parking lot. "Your turn," George said, nodding toward the booth. "Three-factor authentication." Frank followed suit. Three-factor authentication meant he would need to pass 3 tests before being permitted to proceed further, the first involving something he had with him, clearly the number from his own phone app. The second would be something only the person being tested would know. That would have been the response George typed in to the second line of text. The last would look for something known that was physically unique to Frank. He had expected only 2-factor authentication, so he hadn't been watching for a third procedure. He sat down and, when prompted, typed in the new 6-digit number that he had just cycled into view in the security app on his phone. He responded that his best friend from high school was named Jono. Then he waited to see what would happen next. A few seconds later, a penlight-sized light began glowing in the middle of the screen before swiftly moving up and stabilizing at his eye level, and he realized the retina in one of his eyes was being scanned. Apparently, he was who the CIA thought he was, because a moment later, his card popped out below the screen. He picked it up and noticed it had a computer chip embedded in it, presumably the same type found in the new EMV-enabled credit cards. He wondered by what means and when the CIA had succeeded in mapping his retina, as well as how much other information the agency had ferreted out about his childhood without his knowledge. He stood up and joined George in front of one door in a line of unmarked doors. "Well, these cards are only good for 60 seconds, Marchand said. So step right through your door when the green light goes on." Marchand slid his card into a slot next to the door, and when the small light above it turned from red to green, he opened the door and stepped inside. Frank followed suit with his own door and found himself in a phone booth-sized enclosure. The moment he closed the door behind him, he felt himself whooshing upward. Almost as soon as he finished accelerating, the process reversed itself, bringing him to an unexpectedly early halt. The door opened automatically, and he rejoined George in another narrow room, feeling as if he had just traveled halfway across the world via Harry Potter's flu network. "Interesting commute." "Yeah," George responded. "It may be downtown, but this has to be as secure as headquarters. Drop your card in that box over there." Frank noticed a wall rack filled with